Okay, so here we are. This is the Coil Vase Part 2 video. This is where I stopped last time. I had let it sit on a piece of wood. This is a masonite bat. I had it wrapped up in plastic overnight, and it's about 24 hours later. You can see how the board absorbed moisture, and now this piece is firm. When I hold it, it doesn't distort its shape, so it's firm enough to receive more coils. And that's going to be the trick for doing this coil vase, is you're going to be able to add 2 or 3 coils, and you'll find that as you try to add another, it's too soft to support the building up of coils. So you can get a blow dryer and spot dry. You do a couple of coils, spot dry, add a couple of more coils, spot dry. I'll be demonstrating that this morning. So the board is a good advantage because it wicks enough moisture out to firm your clay up. But this is a Friday, and I'm going to wrap my piece up without the board because I don't want it to totally dry out, and the base is definitely firming up. I also rolled several coils, put them on a piece of wood that has plastic, so I can now reach in. I have a bunch of coils made. Now I can reach in, just grab one, and continue to build a little bit more quickly. Also, I want to show you that I have a slight unevenness on my rim, and a way to fix that is just to take another wood board, right? And if your clay is soft, you want to tap gently. If your clay is firmer, you can tap a little bit more firmer, and that will help level out your rim. You'd like to do that between each coil level too. So since this is slightly firm and it's been 24 hours, I'm going to do this. I'm not going to use a lot of water, but I am going to score. Okay, and I have a Lazy Susan, and my work is on a board. You don't absolutely have to have this, but it does help. So I'm just going to score this, and the reason is that this clay has sat for 24 hours and it's firmed up. And I'm going to join a soft piece of clay. Another rule for clay is when you have a soft piece of clay and you attach it to a firm piece of clay, if you don't prep like I'm doing right now, scratch to attach, there's a very good chance when it totally dries that you will get that separation. And it's unfortunate that sometimes students find that out after spending several hours working on a project, that if they just did a little bit of preventative measures, they would have had more success and survivability rate on their work. So I don't want to drown this. I don't need to do this to this here because this clay is soft, okay? I'm going to move the water back out of the way. And again, you don't want wet fingers when you're joining your clay together. Now my shape, here I am right now, I'm starting to go out. I'm going to go out a little bit farther. And you can see my illustration here. I'm going to add another coil, and I'm going to angle it outwards. And I'm going to just check. Okay. Oh, here's my flexible metal rib. I'm going to cut through both pieces. Take the top and bottom piece off. Now I'm going to really inspect before I start blending to make sure it's round, it's level. Okay, can you guys see that? And I try to get it as round as possible. And the way to correct it, you can just turn the coil. You don't have to lift it. You can turn the coil that just looks a little off, but there's some checks and balances. And you want to continually do this in between each coil. So again, I like to start from the inside, and I'm going to use the edge of my thumb, and I'm just going to blend that. Now don't take all the material. If you watch video 1, I show that I'm just taking the very edge of the coil and blending it. You don't want to do it so by the time you're done you have a knife edge that consists of the top of the coil you just added. There will be no support for it to receive another coil. So I'm just going like this, okay, and blend that. Now I'm going to use my flexible metal rib and support, and I'm just going to scrape horizontally and blend that in. If this was a bowl or some other form that was an open shape, you would definitely want to take more time to smooth the inside, but this is going to be a vase shape, and I need the inside smooth for structural purposes, but aesthetically, I don't even think you're going to be able to see in there. Okay, so I did the inside, now it's time to do the outside, and again, I'm just blending. Okay, and I'm going to, now that my piece is growing a little bit, I'm going to spend a little bit more time working the outside surface as well. So, and this project, I'm going to give you guys about a week to do a really nice little small coil vase. You can rush through it and do it in about an hour or two, and the work, if you rush through it, it'll easily, you'll be able to determine it was a rush job. The shape will be out of control, the surface will be really rough, and generally, if you don't take any time drying each succession layer of coils, your piece will definitely distort. And I'm going to go like this, it looks round again. I'm going to go like this and just tap. Now that coil is soft. Now look at, if I want to work the bottom now, if I had two boards, I can go like this, do like the old flipperoo here, and now I have access to the bottom portion that I couldn't get under when it was right side up. So I'm just going to spend a little bit of time, and I'm just going to smooth this. And the way we fix and work the outside surface of our coil vase, we want to make a series of passes, and you continually want to keep your rib clean. So as I scrape, I'm going to get this material buildup. You want to keep wiping that away, okay? And because if I don't, watch, I'm going to show you what happens if I just keep doing this and I don't clean my rib. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to deposit that back onto the pot, and it looks like a really rough stucco job. Now maybe that might be your finished decoration. It could be, but first you would want to make it super smooth and make sure your form has a nice clean line. So generally we make passes in the horizontal position, okay? And then another way to smooth is I'm going to use the radius edge, and I'm going to make some vertical passes. So going back and forth from horizontal to vertical passes is going to really help you clean the shape up. And as the form starts to build, and as we go out and in and maybe back out again, you will be able to keep that line. I call it a line of continuity. You'll be able to keep that clean. See how that scraping, I made that little burr? I can remove this material. And it gets a little bit bigger. I will actually bevel this edge. I'm going to do that a little bit later. So my piece is pretty firm. I can just handle it and flip it over. Okay, but if your piece was really soft, you would want to do that flip action with two boards. Okay, so I'm ready to do another coil. Can you see the shape in there? Outside's been worked, the inside has been worked. I'm going to add another coil. And I'm going to go out again. Okay, so being consistent with the size of the coil is important. Okay, you want the same diameter of coil. And I'm going to save all of these little small pieces because I'm going to try to utilize every piece of my clay. You're going to want to keep your coils covered. I'm going to take the bottom piece. Now I'm going to blend that connection point. Now I'm going to come back in here, and I'm going to make sure I'm round. Okay, it's pretty round, and I'm going to make sure I'm level. Not bad. Oh, I got a little bit of overhang here. So it's better to, that's why it's good to rotate the work around and get a bird's eye view from top, and then also to check your side profile. Okay? So again, I'm going to, this is my second coil with fresh clay, and I'm going to blend. I'm going to gently, now the clay is soft again and it's kind of flimsy where I added those 2 new coils. So I have to support. And you know, you can just leave it in the open air, add a couple of coils, go work on some other homework in another class, but don't leave it out all day like this. But you know, a good 20-30 minutes might firm it up some, depending on the ambient temperature in your house. If you have the AC on, that could actually speed up drying with a lot of air circulation. Okay, so now I'm going to blend the outside. And again, I'll tilt it at an angle for you to see. So I'm just blending that, and again, I'm leaving enough clay so I'll be able to support another coil. This method of construction is believed to be the second oldest in forming ceramic vessels. The first is a coil, the pinch pot method, which you guys should have already started. And then the next method is the coil method. And there's some variations on this technique, and I can show you that too. Maybe when we do our large coil vase. I'm hoping to save the large coil vase project for when you guys are back in class. And if you go online, you're going to see lots of examples of coil vases where they don't smooth the outside and they do all kinds of unusual stuff. I'm trying to get you guys to grasp controlling the shape and not just seeing who can do it fastest or, you know, just trying to get it done. And so one of the requirements for this project is to have a smooth outside and a smooth inside. After you've achieved your form, keep it moist, then you can come back and decorate it. I've had students add flowers and things like that. So, okay. So what I'm going to do first, it's a little out of round for me just joining those coils. So the first thing I'm going to do is make it round again. And rotating it helps. I'm also going to make it level. Again, it's soft, so I'm barely tapping. Okay, it's level and it's mostly round. Now I'm going to dry this a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to use a blow dryer and I'm going to speed the process of drying up. I'll put my hand on the other side of the clay wall, and when I go like this, air hits my hand and bounces on the outside surface, so I'm actually drying the inside and the outside. And all I want to do is firm it up. Okay, that little bit of blow drying has created a little skin on the outside surface of the coil walls. So it's actually firm enough that I could start to add another coil. I'm going to stop here and I will come back and you might see a few more coils added, and I'm going to start to bring the shape back in next time. That's it for this video. Coil building vase part 2.